Hello, is this Bill Burr?
Yes, hello, this is Bill Burr. Speaking with.
Hello, Bill Burr. It's Ben Bailey and DC Benny. What's up, dude?
Buddy? How you doing?
Geez, a couple of alumni from the Boston Comedy Club. Cafe One, Comedy Cellar. Remember Bobby? Dude, I got 15 spots. I never took a cab.
Bobby's a retard.
Saugus. Are you from Saugus?
Saugus.
What's up, man?
Yeah, when he first came down, he had the Boston material.
Yeah.
What was that keychain in the pocket with the, like, that goes, it's like usually holds a watch in the Old West or something, but Bobby had it like that chain hanging off his jeans.
Oh, he had a chain for his keys?
Yeah.
Bobo!
Right, and the ladies loved it.
Ladies loved
it. I remember you guys descending on New York from Boston.
Oh, yeah.
We were like, who are these dudes?
Who are these hacks?
Who are these motherfuckers
All heads of hair.
taking our spots?
They're so castable.
Their accents that are just a little different. What's up, man? What are you doing?
I just left a rehearsal space. Was playing some drums because I live my life like a 14-year-old.
Nice.
Hey, you got to practice every day.
I got a gig coming up. I'm sitting in with the band, and I have to play Motley Crue's Kickstart My Heart Trick. So I gotta make sure I got it down.
Wow, that's cool. Will you play with the Comedy Jam guys?
Yeah, it's cool, man. That show keeps getting bigger. It's a TV show now, and now they play. We used to play in this cool theater off of La Brea or Highland. Now we're at this place. We're at the Ritz up on Sunset.
Sweet.
Oh,
man.
nice, man. Those guys have a show now, huh? That's a TV show?
Yep, they're about ready to take their second season.
Oh, that's great,
January,
dude.
I believe.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah. All good guys, man. We played at the Garden with those guys.
Right. You played with us at the Madison Square Garden. That's right.
Yeah. We're losing you a little bit, man. You sound like you're getting into like a tunnel or something there just for a little. It's kind of going muffled.
No, I'm sitting in my car.
Oh, there we go. Now I can hear you. Cool.
Okay.
Did you have a good session? Are you sweating?
Yes, I did. But there's something I'm trying to do. I'm just frustrated with the fun. I was just like, slow down, play it at a fucking level that you can play it at, and slowly work your way up. So it's taken me forever. I've always tried to run before I can walk when it came to that stuff. So
yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, I can relate too. Yeah. I always feel like I should just be able to be really good at whatever it is that I want to be good at the first time I try it, and it's just so annoying to me that I'm not. I have to keep working and working at it.
Yeah.
Fuck,
well,
man.
that's what most people are. Then it's just, if you stick with it, you gotta have the God-given talent. Because I could stick with playing drums, which I have my whole life. I'm never going to be a pro drummer. But, when I do those comedy jams, like, it's definitely for the fun and the goof and everything. But I want to be getting better. Like, I don't want to just totally suck. I'd like to suck a little less,
Yeah, see, I was having a conversation with some guys that I grew up with about exactly that. That's what keeps me passionate about the stuff that I love to do. Playing guitar, doing stand-up. Yeah. It's the thought that I can continue to get better at those things.
Yeah, it sucks when you don't see improvement. That's the hard part.
My buddy was, like, talking about how he knows he's never going to be any better at golf than he is. And he's a really good golfer, but he won't be a pro or anything. But he doesn't feel like he's getting better or he ever will. And I was like, I would just not want to fucking play anymore if I didn't think that I could get better. That's the whole point. Like,
I would just go to the course, and every time, like every round I played, 3 times when I should lay up, I would just go for it and see what happens. Just to add something different to it, just to switch it up. Yeah,
that's a good idea. Go for it once in a while. Fuck it, go for it every time. Who gives a shit? You're not.
Hey, Phil Mickelson does it when there's like $1 million on the line. Like, if he doesn't care, why should I?
Dude, my buddy and I that I play with sometimes, we always say, what would Phil do when you're in one of those? And I'm like, yeah, I can't fucking hit the ball like Phil, though.
Oh, he'd go right for the pin.
Go right for the pin from 240 around a corner, halfway in the woods.
Yeah, I know, and he gets it, too.
Yeah, and he fucking hits it.
Up when he'll settle like 3-putt. That's how he does. He hits the tricky shot, and then the thing that was before he won a major. Now he's got the ice water in the veins.
Dude, it's funny talking golf with you. I remember we had a debate about golf at the Improv one night about whether or not it's a sport. You remember that? I imagined you were like not a fan of golf.
No, I'm a fan of golf, but it's not a sport. It's an activity. You don't have to.
How about a game?
To hit the ball.
How about it's a game?
I would say it was a game.
A skill game. Let's call it a skill game.
A game of skill.
There you go.
A game of skill. Fair enough. But I would say that the guys who are the best at it are athletes. But if you go, when you go to a country club, there's like 80-year-old people playing. You don't see 80-year-old people playing baseball, tackle football, and all of that. But you see some of those out-of-shape people ever, and they can actually beat you in a round of golf. So it can't be an athletic endeavor.
Squash is like that.
It's a mental sport. It's a mental sport.
It is. It's such a mental game. Bill, I'm worried about our audio here, man. Are you on a mic or something? Or for some reason you're kind of going in and out, and I don't want to record all this.
I mean, I can drive down the street, maybe get better reception.
You just sounded better just then. It just seems like it's going in and out a little bit, and I'm going to be pissed if it's not good enough for us to use.
Maybe when you don't agree with what I'm saying, you hear it.
Oh,
when you agree with something that I say. Like with the major, once I stopped crashing golf, you suddenly could hear me.
You just went out while you were saying a lot of that.
Yeah,
We've lost you.
I think it's where I'm parked here.
Okay, cool.
I think it's where I'm parked. So I'm gonna risk getting a ticket for your podcast.
Dude, I'll help you pay the ticket if you stay on with us while you get pulled over.
Oh, absolutely. I'll have you on speaker, and you'll see my techniques. You'll see my techniques for getting out of.
For getting out of a ticket?
I admit to everything.
I'm guilty.
I pulled you over? Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yes.
I made an illegal U-turn. Why did you do that? Because I didn't want to wait in line with everybody else. Why is that? Because I'm impatient. That's what I said to a guy one time. He goes, "Do you want me to give you a ticket?" I said, "No, but I'm not going to lie to you." He goes, "All right, get out of here." And I go, "You're awesome."
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Because they do always come up and ask you questions.
Yeah.
Do you know how fast you were going? Yeah. And you're like, yeah, of course I do, but I'm not telling you.
I was going like 80.
I was going 83. I know exactly how fast I was going.
Why were you going so fast? My favorite song came on, and I got all amped up. What the fuck? Dude? What the fuck?
That's a great way to approach the cops. Just be straight up with them. Yeah, I killed him.
Just T-boned me, one of those little Toyota SR5s.
Just they nearly T-boned you? Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, they didn't see the stop sign. He was driving up. He was with his girlfriend, so I know she probably told him to slow down. Now he's somehow figuring out how to yell at her.
That's what sounded. Now you sounded good there when you were saying that. That was good and clear.
Yeah, when I trash the women, you hear it.
It comes out perfect.
Just keep saying negative things about women, and it'll come through just fine. We'll change the topic for tonight's show. Wow, man. Oh, there you go. I think it's better now.
Sounds good, man. Sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't want to lose it, dude. That would suck. Because
yeah,
we'd have some good fun, and we wouldn't be able to share it with everybody. So what's new, man?
If a cop pulls me over, I'm going to tell him. We say because I'm talking on my phone. If he says who you're talking to, I have to say the name of your podcast.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. Absolutely. Do you know what it is?
Podcast officer. I would believe it was the Ben and DC. The DC. The Before Comedy podcast.
It's called Ben and Ben. Where have you been? It's called
Ben and Ben.
It's called Tall But True. It's Tall But True.
Tall But True.
Yeah.
The tales might sound tall,
true.
but they are true.
Yeah. You are insinuating that tall people lie. All right.
Well,
it's nothing about actual height.
Yeah.
It's just about the tales.
Tall tale.
It's all about
tales.
It's all about the tales, Bill Burr. It's all about the tales.
I hear you. That's the way it was. 1923.
Oh man,
How's it going out there, man? How you liking life on the West Coast, man? Because that's when I knew you were back in the East. How's it going?
Yeah, I didn't like it when I first lived out here, and then I was like, yeah, I'm going to stay with the East Coast. And then I lived in New York for like 9 years, and I started coming out here, and I was feeling like, for the first time, I really liked it, and I was fighting the feeling, and I finally just gave into it. And you know, it's a rat race like New York, but it's just sort of a different thing in that you're in your car. But there's this major like influx of people moving in here, and they're really building up everywhere, like really high buildings and stuff. It's apartment buildings and stuff. It's really crazy.
Wow, that seems to be happening all over the place. They're building so much right here in the town I live in. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, Brooklyn's unrecognizable now.
Yeah.
It's like that same stuff.
It's crazy, man.
Well, the population of the country isn't going up, so where are all these people coming from?
I don't know. Somewhere's got to be empty, right? What's empty?
Is that true? The population is not increasing? I think more and more people are living in cities. So I think the population of
told me that it wasn't increasing. So I'm going to go with the fact that it's not increasing.
some guy in a bar told me.
We sort of stayed the same from what I've heard.
I heard someone told me that the population of New York City grew by 350,000 people.
Dude,
in
everybody in my
2015.
neighborhood's got like 5 kids. You know, I don't know how it's not increasing. I'm the only one with no kids in the neighborhood.
I was just in Peoria, and everybody there that I talked to seemed to have 4 or more children.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you have 4 kids, man? That's a lot of kids, yo.
Yeah, no, it's irresponsible if you look at what's going on in the environment. But if you don't care, no, it really is. It really is. For 2 people to double, you know what I mean? Like you're going to die, and then you're going to leave 4 people. And if all 4 of them have 4, that's 16. It's like the old shampoo commercial.
Yeah,
except it destroys the planet.
It's all one big head and shoulders. Yeah,
that's right.
So what are we doing, Bailey?
I think we need to get this show started. This is Ben Bailey. I'm here with DC Benny. We're talking to our old friend Bill Burr out on the West Coast about the worst jobs we've ever had. Right after this, don't go anywhere. I don't know about you guys, but I had a lot of shitty jobs through trying to make it as a comedian. I'm not sure exactly which one was the shittiest.
Yeah,
I know I had one where my entire job was to take these big pallets down off of shelves in a warehouse, take boxes off of those pallets, take bags out of those boxes, pull out these like a hypodermic needle without the needle part, just like that plunger thing. Take those out 50 at a time, lay them on a tray, put the tray in a rack, put 50 trays in the rack, push the rack into a big oven, do a whole nother rack, push that rack into the do 4 of those, run the fucking thing, shut it off, and then put them all back into the boxes they were in before. So like at the end of a hard day's work, it's like nothing has happened.
Right. And you lost 20 pounds.
You've sterilized all these fucking things, but you haven't seen a moment of daylight. And everything's right back where it was when you started. It was pretty fucking horrible. I barely lasted a week.
Your boss wasn't there. You get it all done? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, take a nap the whole day.
Oh, shoot.
No, they came and checked on you. They knew that was something that would occur to people.
Yeah.
So they came and checked every time, but that wasn't fun.
What about you, Bill? What were some of your shitty jobs?
I had a bunch of them. I was a busboy in a restaurant that was slowly going out of business.
Oof.
So as people quit, they would be like, hey, you want to be the dishwasher and the busboy? We'll give you an extra $1 an hour. And I was like, oh, boy, a whole other $1. Not realizing they were paying one guy $4 and me $4, so that was $8. And then he quit, and then I did that guy's job for $3 less an hour. I was never good at math. And by the end of it, I was the busboy, the dishwasher, and I was cooking on a mesquite grill with a giant chef hat, glassed in. So
Wow.
the whole place could see me cooking, and I had like the tuxedo on underneath my apron, So I would be cooking and like watching people finishing, and when they finished, I would duck down and then come back up in my alter ego, like without a hat, without the apron, and then I would run up, bust the table, wash the dishes, set up the new table, never wash my hands, and go back to grilling.
It's like a puppet show.
Oh yeah, in the beginning of the day, I had to wash. I had to like mop up near the oyster bar, is what they called it. It was basically a bar, and I had the black and white tiles like the old Improv did.
Oh yeah,
and
right.
So I had to mop up all of that, and then the men's and the women's room. That's how my day started. And I
was
knew
cleaning the toilets.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, the whole damn thing. And I knew going in, like, all right, guys are animals. The men's room's going to be horrific.
Yeah.
But when I went into the women's room, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Dude, it was like there was just pee all over the place, and there was just mountains of toilet paper. It was like there was this giant parade, and then someone just peed all over it and left. So
I've always wondered what it looked like in there.
oh no, dude, it's like they hover and build nests, and they just pee all. There's a lot of pee in the '80s.
Yeah.
They hover and build nests.
Yeah. Yeah, thank God Hillary didn't get back in the White House. Whoever cleans the bathrooms there.
I hear that.
Anyway,
man.
so working in a restaurant, right? I'll tell you a quick funny story here. Hopefully
Wait, what was the name of that place?
It was called the Sable Cafe, and it was in Cary, North Carolina, and it existed from 1987 to 1988. And there was all these guys that invested this money, and a couple of silent partners, so those guys always get screwed. The guy was there day to day. One of them, I don't want to rat him out even 30 years later, but he had a little bit of he had an 80s problem.
Yeah.
A problem
That's what always happens
back then.
when you got silent
a lot
partners.
of lies with that problem. So he was going into the register to help out with his problem, and he had a lot of head colds.
It's hilarious,
allergies,
man.
right? Yeah.
He's like,
A lot of allergies.
he's like, first you're the busboy, now you're the busboy and the waiter and the dishwasher and the and the maitre
And
d'.
everybody there.
And then at the very end, he's like, and now you're the owner. Because I'm going to prison, and you owe these guys in this Lincoln right here a whole bunch of cash.
Yeah, no, it was brutal. And then the kitchen was just all characters who all, hated authority. It was musicians. It was addicts, alcoholics, drug addicts, a guy on a work release program from prison. I still remember he gave me shit one time. I wanted to tell him to go fuck himself, but he was in prison earlier that day, so I punked out, right? Like I was in the middle of doing my 3 jobs, and I came running back, and I was like, guys, we're out of glasses. And he looks up from like making salads, and he goes, well, why don't we wash some? And then he goes, a novel idea. Like he was this fucking aristocrat. It's just like, you were just in jail, you asshole. Fucking dickhead.
I love it. He's still mad about it. And
I'm still pissed.
yeah, I can tell. I would be too. And you remember exactly what he said?
I remember what he looked like too, and his stupid trying to look tough Fu Manchu. He was like 5'6". And this is before white people knew anything about jiu-jitsu, so I could have anyways, so there was this raging alcoholic who worked there. He waited tables, and he was a mess. He was like 35. He had the gin blossom of like someone who hung out with John Wayne for like 60 years. 35, dude. He looked like a W.C. Fields looking guy, but he was 35, so it was like picture W.C. Fields with like a Fonzie haircut, like jet black hair and comb back and stuff, right? So this guy had lost his license so many times for drinking and driving. Even in the 80s, when you could, like, kill people and nobody cared, really. This is right before the moms got mad and they got sick of it, right?
Yeah, when there were T-shirts that said, don't drink and drive, you might hit a bump and spill your drink.
Yeah, that's enough.
Yes, exactly. So these guys, this guy, he had lost his license so many times that the judge just took it away indefinitely. And I remember I was like, you're never getting it back?
And he goes, well, I got a hearing in about 8 months, and we'll see what they say. So he used to drive to work on a moped, and he drank every night, and he would just pass out at 4 in the morning. He lived in a trailer, I swear to God. He lived in a trailer, and he would, like, drive to work, even though it was North Carolina, like in the wintertime, it still got cold and stuff, right? So he would drive to work sometimes, and if he woke up late and it was cold enough, he would have frost on the side of his hair where he had his southern back, like Fonzie, right? So basically, this guy, his life was this moped. So one day, me and the people there work in the kitchen, we decide as a joke, we're going to hide his moped just to watch him freak out. So this kid Jason, who was he was like my age, 19, he was a big metalhead. He was like one of those guys who never shaved his upper lip and had that awful, this is my first mustache.
That dirt.
I remember those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so me, him, and like 2 other guys, we took the moped, and out back behind the restaurant was this storage shed. And it was built in the side of a hill and had all like these extra napkins and all these CO2 things or whatever for like
the soda guns.
Tax. Yeah.
So
we wheeled the thing behind it up the hill because it was a road, and we just wheeled it right onto the roof, so you couldn't see it. So dude, he came, but when he couldn't find the thing, he came in like white as it goes. He was freaking out. It was one of the hardest I ever laughed. And then finally we couldn't take it anymore. We're like, we're just fucking with you. We put it up on the roof, right? He's like, you assholes. We went out there laughing, and we went up there, and it was gone. Somebody stole it, dude. Somebody stole it, and like, we were only up there for like 45 minutes. So, called the cops, and now we feel horrible. And I think I gave him a ride home, and that's when I saw he lived in a trailer. Dude, it was fucking brutal. So this is the best part. Like 4 or 5 days later, they found the thing, and I remember it was silver. And some shithead tried to spray paint it black and did a horrible job, so it was all this black and silver. And he came to work the next day, like with his hair all frosted, wrapped the thing in, hung over his shit, all excited that he got his moped back. So it had a happy ending.
That is hilarious.
Fucking hilarious.
That's hilarious. They're doing that now with the city
Somebody
bikes.
stole it.
I mean, people steal the city bikes and they paint them. They take them to the projects and they paint them like green or some shit.
Oh, really?
I know, and it's a brand of bike that nobody buys outside the city, too.
Right. That's hilarious. That's great, man.
That was, dude, the level of partying. And what was funny was I would be working the grill, and and everyone could see me in the restaurant because I was glassed in. But then when I would take the orders off the grill, put it on a plate, when I turned it around, there was that little window.
Right.
And I would hand it, and I could look into the kitchen. Dude, I remember one time they had like a cube of this brown stuff, like hash, I don't know what. I was never into weed. And they had it like smoldering underneath this thing. And they would lift the glass up, and they take a hit, and then they would walk out onto the floor. Yeah, it's just no wonder the place went out of business.
In the year that it operated. Oh, that's great, dude. That is great. Yeah, I was a janitor in high school. I got in so much trouble that the principal came up. He's like, "Look, you're after school every day. You may as well get paid for it, so you can be a janitor's assistant." So, he's like, "There's this guy Paul who was the janitor, and you'll be his assistant." And Paul would show me all these tricks. Like he'd be like, we'd have to clean up like the math room,
right?
And he'd be like, why you guys keep getting busted on cheating on the math tests? And he goes, because the teacher, he gives you the test, he turns around, he always washes the board. And I was like, yeah, he always washes the board. He goes, he's looking at your reflections in the board, right? So I was learning all this shit from the janitor.
Oh, that's pretty smart, man.
And then I had to do that thing where you had to clean the bathrooms. That's what I'm cracking up when Bill's talking about it. The women's bathroom in the high school, oh my God, man, when it was nasty. The boys' bathroom is going to be nasty, but the women's bathroom was and I remember I was in there, and I didn't want anybody to know I had this job. Like, I waited till later, till everybody left, and then I would go back in and do that. You didn't want anybody to know.
Right.
And I remember this girl came in. I'll never forget this. While I was cleaning the bathroom, I was in one stall, and she didn't know I was in there. and sat in the stall next to me and took this mean dump. And I had a crush on this girl. Oh yeah, I had a crush on this girl. And after she took that dump, I was like, I don't know. I just don't. It ruined it for me. It just ruined it for me. It was horrific, man.
I think that would ruin it for anybody. I mean,
dude, I remember the boys' room in high school. It was like there could be piss anywhere. You had to be very careful. I remember one time someone had pissed all over a roll of toilet paper.
Yeah,
but it had kind of dried over, however much of the day. So this guy, I didn't know it was in there until after this happened. I'm standing there taking a piss, and this other guy comes in, and he goes in there, and you hear him blow his nose, and then he just goes, oh, and he comes out, and he's got this piss-soaked paper. Like, oh, my God.
Oh, I never find that stuff funny because I always think they have it for the grace of God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
There was a time when I was on the road, and before I ever met Doug Stanhope, I couldn't stand him because I swear to God, the guy did the road so much. Every other gig I did, he was always there. It was like Stanhope was here the week before, and there was always some crazy thing that he did in the condo with like a midget and a stripper, and just like, he did it right over there. Like they would tell it to you like they thought it was funny. It's like, dude, I gotta sleep here.
I live here right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna live here for a week.
Dude, one time when we finished the day of shooting on Cash Cab, they said, and by the way, the bathrooms up by the office, the men's room is closed, or the women's room is closed, so everybody's going to have to use the men's room. And everybody's like, oh, so everybody freaks out because we've been riding around in the cars all day. Everybody races to the bathrooms. We get up there, and I'm with these two girls. I can't remember either one of their names right now, which is better I leave them out of the story anyway. Yeah. I let both of them go. Like, oh, you guys go ahead. They go in the bathroom. They're in there for like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 12 minutes. We're like, Jesus, man. All the guys are standing in the hall waiting to go in. Then finally, one of them comes out, and she's like, whew. And then the next one comes out, and she's just kind of like, rushing to get out of there. And we're like, wow, what just happened in there? And just as the door's about to shut, the door opens, and one of the guys was in there before they went in, and they didn't know it. And he comes walking out, and he goes, oh, my God. He goes, I was going to say something, but then I just got so scared I stayed quiet.
That's what happened to me, dude. I was terrified. Man.
Wow.
Oh,
dude, that job at that restaurant, I wish I could watch a video of you running that restaurant just for a minute.
Oh, dude, it was, and I was so dumb. Do you know how many times people got me on that type of stuff? Hey, you want to do extra work you want to basically do a whole nother job for another 50 cents? I remember when I had a paper route, it was this bigger kid, and he didn't want this part of his route where he had to go up a hill, and he asked me if I wanted to do it. Right?
Yeah.
And I would deliver the papers, but he would collect the money, and it never dawned on me why I couldn't pay my bill, why my bill was really high, and he kept all the money. I was so stupid. I was so like shy, like I hated collecting, and I never really did the math. Like, no, man, like you're paying, for your papers, and then you collect from them, and whatever's left over, you get.
Yeah.
That just never dawned on me, and. Yeah, I did that for a good year and a half.
Yeah, you figure it out.
Man. I had a paper route.
Yeah.
I was the worst paper boy. I overslept. People wouldn't get their papers. I would collect sometimes just when I was like, I needed a couple of bucks. I'm going to stop by and collect.
Dude, I was a great paper boy.
Were you really? I believe it. I was better than I'm letting on, but I was not a good paper boy.
I was terrible.
No, dude,
you were a paper boy too?
Yeah.
DC was a paper. We all had paper routes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Industrious young men.
We had the Northwest Current, which was this shitty paper that in DC. It was a shitty little paper that like a local paper, and the guy would pay you before you delivered it. He'd pay you. You didn't have to collect from the customer, so he'd drop off a stack of shit of these papers at your house, and he'd give you like, I don't know, it's like $3 in an envelope. And then, you were honor bound to deliver it. And everybody used to just take the papers and dump them in the sewer.
Just chuck them.
That was the thing. You would walk by the sewer, it'd be clogged up by the Northwest Current. Every...
That's crazy. All the work that goes into a newspaper. Man. But I'm guilty of a similar thing.
I feel bad about it now.
Yeah, when I was in college, I took a job that said you make $25 an hour. Bill, are you all right? Did you just fall down the stairs?
No, I had to put something away. I'm home now.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. That's all right. It's funny, man. We're doing some of these interviews with other guys. People are usually doing stuff, which is totally cool, but I always get these pictures of what's happening. Like DC did a remote. I was like, are you walking into a treehouse right now? What's that?
I was putting a hat away in one of these containers, and as I snapped it shut on top of it, I bought this ching ring, which sounds like some sex device, but it's actually the thing that John Bonham used to have on his hi-hat, which I've never used. You know, you always think, oh, I'll buy the same guitar as Jimi Hendrix, then I'll sound like him. So I got this vintage ching ring that I've never used. So
It's just been sitting in the closet.
Yes, that's what interrupted your story, an out-of-date percussion instrument.
I'm trying to think of what was maybe the worst, the absolute worst job I had. I had some shit jobs. Like I worked, I did a lot of construction type stuff, different kinds. I worked roofing. Roofing was fucking hard. Yeah. Showed up to work roofing, right? And everybody's like, hey, there's a new pussy on the crew. Let's fucking abuse him. And they make you do all the shit work. Like, Bill, you probably went through the same thing. It's like a hazing ritual. They're like, all right, they maybe carry the 2 planks, put the ladder up on the roof, climb up and put the planks at the bottom of the roof.
The scaffolding.
The planks are like, they're like 30-foot long 2x6s.
I would never stand on anything that's any scaffolding that the guy called it the planks. Like, if you don't even know what it's called, my life is in your hands. I would not be doing.
Well, it's not the scaffold. It's the wood that goes at the it's on the bottom of the roof. You nail those supports in, and then you lay those planks on top of it. So that's where the guys could stand while that's where you stand. I found out afterward. I thought the shitty part of the job was over, but no, now I got to stand at the bottom of the roof on those planks that I just put up, while the other guys are at the top of the roof with flat shovels, prying 3 or 4 layers of old shingles off and nails and shit. And you got to pick it up, all the pieces as it breaks off and comes flooding down the roof on you.
Not get a nail in the eye.
Not get a nail anywhere, and get all of it into a bucket, and then you carry the bucket to the peak of the roof, and you carry it to the end, and then you dump it from the peak down into the dump truck that's like 50 feet below. And none of them told me they didn't really tell me anything. I just had to fucking do it. They said, go do that. They didn't say, here's how you do that. So I loaded the fucking bucket so full, trying to, thinking I'm doing a great job. I'm being real efficient. Not realizing I'm the dumbass who now has to pick it up. And we're 3 stories off the ground. I'm trying to pick up a 150-pound drum. They're like, they're just sitting there waiting for me. Now I'm slowing everybody down, so they're all busting my balls. Like, yeah, you might want to take some shingles out of the bucket there, Hercules.
Dude,
we'll just sit here and wait. You lasted 8 days? You worked roofing too?
I lasted 8 days. I was a grunt, and whatever we were doing, we took down all the plaster one time in one house, and we did roofing another day. And I just remember I was putting the scaffolding up, and this Irish guy just kept going. He kept going, Billy. He's like, you must work quicker. You must work quicker. He just kept saying that to me. And finally, I just had like this jolt of anger, surprisingly. I was like, dude, I've never put this up before. All right? You want me to fly through it? Because I will. I will. Dude, and there was this guy on the job, right? He wore the same fucking jeans every single day. They had a massive hole just to the left of his junk, and he didn't wear any underwear. Right? And one time he stepped over something and the hole moved and he just flashed me. And I was looking at the guy like, I was like 19, 20. I came back 87, 88. That might have been 89. I think it was like 21. Was I that old? Yeah, I think I was. Because then I went to warehousing after the Sable Cafe. And then I unloaded trucks, which was great. That was a great job and really fun people that I worked with. But that job, I left that great job, and I remember having this feeling like, do I know what I'm doing? And I left that job, and roofing. I literally lasted 8 days. I never went back to pick up my check. I was just like, "Fuck this."
It's a rough
Keep the
job.
money.
I had a guy who busted my balls like that. No matter what I did, he was like, Bailey, what the fuck are you doing? Get up here, blah, blah, blah. Sweep the goddamn roof. And I did the same thing. I don't know where I got the balls or the I just had this flash of anger. He's telling me to sweep the roof, and then he's telling me how to sweep the fucking roof, and then you're not fucking sweeping the roof, right? And, all right. So he takes the broom and he's showing me how to do it. And I go, okay, let me try. And I take the broom from him and I throw it off the roof into the fucking woods. I go get the fucking broom and sweep the goddamn roof yourself, asshole. And everybody, including me, was just totally shocked. And then everyone sort of looked to the foreman for an answer. And he goes, to the other guy, looks like you're going to get the broom. The fucking dude had to go get the broom. I had a couple of great moments on that job.
Size, man. You were
That's
a big
true.
Guy.
It's true.
I look like Ron Howard. I was just like,
It didn't help.
I'm trying the best I can.
It didn't keep him from busting my balls for months on end, though.
But he got that broom.
He did go get that fucking broom. I had a couple of great moments like that on that job. One day, I missed the trucks. Like, you have to go, you drive your car to the shop, and then you load up, and then you take the trucks to the job, right? I missed the trucks. I got to the shop. I think I had a doctor's appointment or something. Got to the shop after they were gone, so I had to drive my car to the house. So I drive my car to the house. I park it right in front, and we work for like an hour, and then it's an hour and a half or something. And it's like, all right, we're gonna break for a snack. Take like a 15-minute coffee break in the morning or something, 10 or 15 minutes. So I walk down the driveway, downhill from up by where the garage is. I go down the hill. Bill, what are you doing over there, bro?
I was just
Are you packing a suitcase?
I was just thinking I should hit mute. I'm making myself some pasta.
When you're done, don't forget to bust the tables and wash the fucking dishes when you're done. So I go down, I walk down the driveway, I lay on the hood of my car in the sun, and I'm laying there with my eyes closed in the sun. And I overhear these guys up on the driveway. The guy who I threw the broom into the woods, he had to fucking go get it, and a couple other guys. And so I crack my eye. You know, you can open your eye a little bit, and it still looks like it's closed.
Yeah.
And so I'm watching them, but it's still, to them, it looks like I'm just laying there napping or whatever. And I hear the guy talking shit about me. And I'm just laying there watching. And he's eating a peach the whole time. And he's like, yeah, fucking Bailey, eating his fucking peach. And I'm laying there on the car. And he finally finishes the peach, and I hear him go, watch this. And sure enough, he turns. I just barely see him. I'm laying, I'm not looking right at him. I can just make him out of the corner of my eye. My eyes are almost totally shut. I see him throw something, which I assume is the fucking peach pit.
Yeah.
It turns out it is. I catch it. I have it in my field of vision.
Bailey powers.
And I'm watching this thing come at me from all the way up on the driveway, over the side lawn of the house. It's coming right at my fucking face. And I wait. I wait and I wait and I wait, and then I just go, bam! And I fucking put my hand up at the last second and catch it right before it hits me in the face. And the foreman just goes, oh, shit! He goes, oh my God, that was the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen. He's like, Bailey's got your fucking number, dude. It was one of my favorite, one of my all-time, silly little things. It doesn't mean anything, but I just felt I felt so good.
You got him twice.
Yeah. And the dude doesn't, he didn't know. He thought you were asleep. So
he thought I was asleep. I still fucking grabbed it.
Superpowers.
I told that story in college so many times that a story that got repeated too often became known as a peach pit.
Oh, that's great.
My roommates were like, oh, fuck. It's the goddamn peach pit again. It was a big moment,
I used to manage a nightclub in D.C. It was called the Ritz. And
nice.
It was a great club. It was like 5 floors. It was actually a pretty good job, but it was just stressful because as the manager, you had to bust the place. There was never enough employees. You had to bust the place. You had to like bounce some of the time. If the bartender didn't show up, you had to bartend or whatever.
Right, whatever needed doing.
Whatever, yeah. And it was 5 floors, each floor different music or whatever.
Jesus,
and
dude,
that's
a big job, man.
It was cool, man. But the shitty part was it was the 80s, so there was one phone in the whole place. If anybody wanted to use it, you had to go in this guy's office, Rashid. And
right.
Rashid was a dick. Like, he was very irritating. I used to call him Rash because he was just very irritating. And like, he'd always be like, you come in to use the phone, he'd be like, get out the office, you can't use the phone or whatever. So
he was very irritating.
It was very irritating. So the place was owned by.
Should I bring my shoes? I have them.
my shoes and my glasses, and my shoes fell off. I'll work circles around you fucking people.
But so the place, it's owned by this Ethiopian guy, right?
Right.
And he comes up to me one night, and so there's like, I would sit and I chill with the Ethiopian that owned it. You eat that food like it's the fucking plate, you know. And you
right. Yeah. Everybody eats from the one thing, and
it's like the bread is
use
the
your
plate.
fingers. Yeah.
And they had this stuff called tej, which was this honey wine, like a mead or something. You get really fucked up.
Wow. Probably pretty strong shit.
Very strong. Very like off the charts strong. Like tej, right? So
mental note: try tej.
The owner comes up to me and he's like, tonight, big celebrity, you need to bartender don't shop. Whatever celebrity want to come for free, and he's gone. He doesn't tell me who the fuck it is. So like midnight, my girlfriend's waitressing in there. Big limo pulls up, right? I'm bartending. The bartenders show up. These big dudes get out of the limo, go to the back of the club. One guy comes up, he's like, what you got to drink? I'm like, we got this tej stuff. So he's like, give me 20 tejes or whatever. He brings it in the back. All these guys are getting hammered on tej. I see Mike Tyson in the middle, right? Mike Tyson's getting hammered on tej. So he comes up to the bar and he's like, what is this shit? He's like, it's delicious. I'm like, it's called tej. He's like, where's it from? I'm like, Ethiopia. He's like, I didn't know they had food there. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy. You eat the plate. It's fucking crazy. So, hanging out, whatever. He takes off.
Mike Tyson.
They go into the club. They're like going to all the different floors. My girlfriend comes over and it's about an hour later, and she's like, this guy keeps putting his hands on me. I'm like, what guy's putting his hands on you? She's like, that guy at the end of the bar. She points to the end of the bar. Fucking Mike Tyson's back at the end of the bar. She's like, do something. I'm like, that's Mike fucking Tyson, right? So I start like preparing like a speech. I'm like, Mr. Tyson, please no finger blasting against the will. So he's like, hey, I need to use the phone. Is there a phone in this club? And I was like, dude, go in that office and ask for Rash, right? So he goes into the office. Rash doesn't follow boxing at all, right? Apparently. And Mike Tyson walks in, is like, I need to use the phone. Rash is like, get the fuck out of the office like he does to everybody else. Mike Tyson, I must have punched Rash and knocked him out, because all of a sudden everybody's leaving. All you see is Rash's feet on the floor, like the soles of his feet. So for the next few weeks, I would go by the office, I'd knock on Rash's door and be like, who is that? I'm like, it's Mike Tyson. I need to make a long distance call. It was a pretty good job. It wasn't that shitty a job. Except for Rash.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious. Mike Tyson, I need to make a long distance call. He just sees a feet sticking up.
Feet sticking out the door. Shit.
I had a job working at a warehouse. I drove a forklift.
Oh, man, that's big time.
I drove a forklift at a couple different places. One of them was this place, a magazine distribution warehouse, where I went to college down in Norfolk, Virginia.
Yeah.
One of my roommates got a job at this place, and then they were like, yeah, we're looking for another guy. So pretty soon, there's 4 of us that live in a house. We all work at this place at different shifts, And
UPS?
No, it's like magazines. It's all different types of magazines, and it's a distributor. Okay. The company's called ARA Services.
Yeah.
And it's a cool place. It's not a bad job. It's just, we're in a warehouse driving a forklift, but there's some funny shit like you get to choose magazines, whatever you want every week. You can take free magazines because they have stuff that goes to the stores, and then when it doesn't sell, it comes back, and they rip off the cover, and you can take whatever you want. So they're like, so between the 4 of us that work there, we get like 80 magazines a week because we all get 20, right? And it's hilarious. Like one dude, all he had was porno. Nothing but porno. Another guy, all he had was like army, like
Soldier of Fortune.
like Soldier of Fortune kind of
power.
shit. Yeah. Like the latest planes and the latest jets and tanks and shit like that.
Where to buy a silencer.
One guy's like, "You're not taking any porno? You're just going to read about helicopters? What the fuck?"
All of those warehousing jobs or the distribution types of stuff, like Amazon killed all of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. I bet they're not even there anymore.
No, I used to work at a place, corporate software, and it was like, rather than having to go directly to this company to buy software, we had all the different types of software, like an Amazon would, and then you called us, and we would just ship it all out. And there's no way that company's still around.
Yeah. But so they redid part of the warehouse at ARA Services, and I don't know if you've ever like had a slab of concrete laid and you had to maintain it. When they do that, you have to like brush it, unless you treat it. And I think even if you do treat it, you still have to brush it down a lot for like a month, or at least a few weeks. You gotta. So we had to brush this new slab every day in a huge warehouse. You had to sweep it. Basically, with these big brushes every single fucking day. You had to do it in the morning, then you had to do it at night, and it took forever, and it was dusty, filthy, awful fucking mess. So 4 of us are working there. I start my shift at 6 a.m. one day, and then we have an intramural. We played club football, flag football, and we were fucking good. We made it. We only lost to one team, and they beat us in the regular season, and then in the championship, the whole school. It sucked. By the same score, those motherfuckers. But so we had a big game that night. And I had been working since 6 in the morning. He said 2 other guys came, and they started working at like noon. The boss comes in, he goes, "Don't forget, you got to sweep the whole warehouse before you could leave." This is right before I'm leaving. And I go to leave, and they're like, "What are you doing?" He said, "We have to sweep the whole warehouse." I'm like, "Yeah, but I've been here since 6 in the morning. I'm not sweeping. I don't have to stay and sweep the warehouse." And the boss is now gone. My friends are like, "What do you mean? He told all of us." I'm like, "Dude, I've been here since 6 a.m. They give me all this shit. I leave and I go play in the fucking football game. And I basically like lost a friend over it. This dude that worked at the warehouse was mad at me for like forever. Like I stopped talking to the fucking guy because I didn't stay there and sweep the fucking floor at ARA Services. Well, friend lost.
But he had to do your job, though, right? Yeah, I'm with that guy.
Yeah, right. He didn't give a fuck you there 6 in the morning. Oh, that's hilarious.
I can't believe you took his side. I thought you guys were my friends.
No. Phil's the contrarian too. He likes to. He goes with the underdog.
A true friend. They call you out on your BS. You were wrong there, and I think you owe him a 30-year apology.
I think you're wrong. You're way out of line here, buddy. I know. It is one of those things that you still think about. Everybody has those little things. You're like,
you're going out playing football.
Wish that hadn't happened.
The floor.
Well, dude, someone had to go. Half of our football team was at work. We didn't have anybody to play the game. If I had stayed, there would have been 3 of us.
Is it a sports movie or is it a movie about 2 friends in a bond of friendship? That's really
both. That's what's so good about flag football.
Dude, I worked one time. I did a paper route as an adult.
Oh wow!
When they would start like not letting kids do it.
Oh yes.
They realized, and so basically there was really no paper boys anymore at this point, or they were really phasing out, and the economy was bad, and people not only didn't want their kids to do it, but people were kind of using it as a way to make an extra $100 a week or something.
Yeah.
So this guy called me up. He goes, "Hey man," he goes, "one of our drivers is out." He goes, "Can you do this route along with your other route? Can I add another route to you?" And I go, man, "How much?" And he was like, it was some BS amount of money. It was like $50. And I was just like, "Dude, man, I'm not going to, it's spread out all over hell. I'm not." "No," he goes, "it's nice and compact." He goes, "You'll have it done in like 20 minutes. So I go, "All right, man, $50, I'll do it." Right. So I show up, get all the papers. It's like twice as many papers as the guy said. The route is spread out all over hell, and it's this ritzy area. These people's driveways are streets. Like, it's going to take me 4 hours to get this done. And I didn't have any rubber bands or anything. I just said, "Fuck it." And I just dropped them at the end of the driveway. and it was wet. The driveway was one time I wasn't a good paper boy. It was wet out. And I remember coming by the time I came back down the street, the wind was blowing. It looked like somebody won a war. You know what I mean? It was like all blowing all over the place. And I'm dying laughing. And all I'm doing is I'm racing through this route before these people wake up and start complaining. So I show up and I get to the place and the guy who hired me isn't there. And I go, yeah, I finished that extra route. He goes, it's all done? I go, yep. He goes, I'm not going to get any plates. I'm like, nope. He goes, how much did he say he was going to give you? And I go, 75. I threw another 25 in there. And I took the money, right? So by like 2 hours later, the home phone is ringing off the hook. And I'm telling my dad, don't tell him I'm here. Don't tell him I'm here. And he's like, you should say that, just talk to the guy and blah, blah, blah. And my brother finally picks up the phone. And all I just hear is this guy like, motherfucker. My brother's got the phone away from his ear, and I'm just laughing. You tell that motherfucker next time I see him, yada, 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 right? So this is how much of a piece of shit this guy was. I ended up running into him like 2 weeks later because I had to go back there for some other – I was something like and I came back. I was dropping one of my brothers off because they were doing it. I ran into him. And he just smiled and he looked at me and went, oh, you motherfucker. That was it. He didn't care that I fucked him out of $25. He was just over it. But the way he said it, there was a tone in his voice that he respected my game. Because he was fucking me and then I fucked him back.
Yeah, he was fucking you for sure.
Yeah, he was just like, all right, you got me.
I started to say earlier when DC was talking about the newspaper that everybody threw in the sewer, a very similar story. Also when I was in college. I was looking for a job, part-time thing in the paper, make $25 an hour or whatever. And it's a very similar deal. This guy says to me, yeah, all you got to do is you do this route. You deliver all these newspapers and magazines. We'll give you a list of what houses get what. And then you do the route. It'll probably take you less than an hour. And then you're done and you make, $100.
Yeah, it's always that. It's nice and easy, and it's great money, but for some reason, nobody wants this job.
And I'm like, okay, sounds great. He goes, okay, just come down to the warehouse, and we'll give you the stuff, and you can go deliver it. I'm like, all right. So I get in my car, I drive to the warehouse. The guy's like, yeah, back it up to the loading dock. And I'm like, loading dock? That sounds like more stuff than I was envisioning. So I back the car up to the loading dock. They proceed to fill not just the trunk, but also the back seat of the car with stuff, magazines of all different types, pamphlets, newspapers. And then they give me a roll of plastic bags. And there's even some little letter inserts, right? So what I'm meant to do is sort through all of this shit, put it into bags according to where it's going to go, and then... Like, that wouldn't take me 4 fucking hours, at least, to do that. Then I gotta go and drive it and deliver it to these areas that are all over the fucking city. They told me it would be an hour of work.
17 years.
I love how the anger still comes back as you tell the story.
Oh, I'm still getting pissed about it. And then my guilt will come up at the end, too. So I got it all loaded in the car there, and I'm trying to do it. I'm sitting on my porch. I'm stuffing shit in bags. I'm out there for about a half an hour. I think I have 10 bags. There might be 300 to 400 bags worth of shit. My roommates are laughing at me. I'm like, I'm going to go and deliver the ones that I've done so far. So I go to this neighborhood and I deliver like the first 10 of them. And then it dawns on me that it's helpless. It's hopeless. It's pointless. It's gonna take me so fucking long. I'm gonna spend more money.
It's a recurring theme in these stories.
Yeah, these jobs are fucking bullshit. So it's exactly right. Like, why aren't you doing it if it's so fucking easy?
Yeah, there was no social media. You couldn't warn anybody about dirt bags back then.
Yeah. So I threw bags at like 5 or 6 houses, and then I was like, fuck this, and I just went to like a Wendy's and backed my car right up to a dumpster and threw all of that shit into a dumpster. And it took me fucking 15 minutes to throw it in a dumpster. It told me it's going to take me 40 to deliver it. It took me 15 minutes to get it all out of the car into a fucking dumpster. Thanks, Bill. I agree. I always felt bad about that, but, they were fucking me. It was bullshit. They were lying.
When they misrepresent the job,
Yeah.
fuck them.
And I also got a check.
The customer pays.
I also got a check for that job. They sent it to me before they figured out what had happened.
That's awesome.
That is crazy.
I love it when I hear the little big guy won.
Yeah.
Yeah, once in a while. Dude, I worked this construction job building these condos that you can actually see from a couple of places around here. So now it's cool when I have my kids in the car. They'll be like, "Daddy, there's the condos you worked on," because you can see them. They're way up on a mountain. And it was a little scary because what we were doing is putting up the sheetrock. The framing was up, and we're putting up the sheetrock on the outside of these condos, which are, the building is probably 10 stories. Bill, you're killing me with the fucking pots and pans over there, dude. Jesus.
I'm going Mario Batali here.
What the fuck are you doing? This is not a cooking show.
Oh, you wait, dude. I got the cheese grater out. I put a little Reggiano on top.
Dude, we're all going to be hungry by the time this is over.
I'm starving.
So I would work on out on the front, like right on the front face of this 10-story building that's on the side of a mountain that's way the fuck up there, and it's pretty fucking scary. And you're firing a nail gun, or you're using screw guns to screw off, depending on what you're putting up. If you're framing, you're using a nail gun. If you're putting up the plywood, then you're using a screw gun. And it was me and 2 other guys doing that every day for like most of a summer. And one of the other guys' his name was Hoss, and he was a super Southern guy. His name was Hoss.
I know a Hoss.
And Hoss, he had a good old time no matter what he was doing. He was happy all the time, and he'd just be up there fucking screwing screws into the wall, and he'd be like, "Very nice. It's so very nice to be screwing the day away, screwing away another day." And he's like singing to himself. He was fun, funny guy to work with. And then the guy that was always in between Hoss and I when we were hanging out there, I can't remember his fucking name, but he's this tall, like metalhead dude with kind of like boofy hair, and he had big buck teeth. And he was always fucking with me. He's one of these guys that you work with, and as soon as you see him, you're like, oh, this guy is he's going to bust my fucking balls all the time. So this guy always was giving me a hard time. And I didn't quite know what to do, how to deal with it, Like, I was a little bit uneasy about the heights.
Yeah.
But we're 75 feet off the ground.
Someone fucking with you,
which
with
is
a
up
nail
on a mountain.
Altitude.
He would see that I was the heights got to me a little bit, and he saw that as weakness and would start to fuck with me. And it was bothering me for a while. And then one night I had this dream that I threw him off the fucking building. In my dream, he was fucking with me, and I just reached over and pulled him off and threw him to his death. And so the very next day, we're on the job, we're hanging on the front of the fucking building, and I'm just laughing. He's like, "What the fuck are you laughing at?" And I'm just laughing. I can't stop laughing. I'm looking at him, and it's just hilarious. And it's driving him. Dude, wait. It's driving him nuts that I'm laughing. He doesn't know what's funny. So he keeps pushing me. And then finally, he gets right up next to me, and he's really getting in my face. And he's like, "What the fuck are you laughing at?" And I go, "Last night I had a dream that I threw you off this building and killed you." And then he didn't say a fucking word. He just backed away from me. He just slowly backed over to where he was and started working again. Never said another fucking word to me. Never said a word to me for the whole rest of the job.
I may have to use that on a couple people in my life.
A dream that I murdered you.
Yeah.
Oh, and that's making you laugh a lot. I think I'll stay over here.
How about you, Chef Bill? Anything?
Did you ever want to kill a guy that you worked with?
Anything?
Oh yeah, I have dreams all the time that people either trying to kill me, and I can't fight them off.
Yeah, that's the worst.
I'm killing them, and I just can't kill them though.
Yeah, I've had that one. I've had that one.
I can't kill them.
You hitting them as hard as you can, and it's not doing anything.
Do you guys ever have the one where you remember you've killed somebody you forgot about, and you're like, oh shit, and the cops
Yeah.
are like sniffing
Yes.
around? That's the worst one ever, and you see it all going down the shitter. You
Yeah.
know, where you're like, damn, I did kill that person and bury them in the backyard. You know what I mean?
I think I've had that dream. I wouldn't have remembered it though if you hadn't said that. Fuck. Have you had that one, Bill?
Oh yeah.
Oh sure.
Oh sure, the old killing people that you know. And then you
I had them all. I forgot it was
Up
me.
there with I'm falling.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
most, I think regular people have dreams that they're falling, and they can't stop themselves. Comedians have dreams that they murdered somebody.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they forgot that they did it.
Hey man, what's going? You're on fire.
That's awesome, dude. I can see how, Ben, your laugh your laugh can go either way.
What do you mean?
It could be a funny, silly laugh, or if you say like, I was thinking of throwing you off the roof with your size.
It's like a
That
Vincent
laugh-
Price laugh.
Yeah, it's not real cute after that.
Had a dream I threw you off the roof. I played it up too. You know, I was giving him the look. Definitely frightened him. I took a job at this place, a party rental shop.
Oh, I worked at one of those.
Did you really?
Yeah.
My dad did a software design for them, and so he's friends with the guy that owned it, and hooked me up with a job there for a summer. And I showed up at I was supposed to be there at 9. I showed there at 8, and I showed up at 8:03. And there's this giant guy comes walking over. He goes, "Are you Ben?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm Ben." He goes, "Do you know what time it is?" I go, "Yeah, it's 8 o'clock." He goes, No, it is 8:03. It is 8:03. You are late. Congratulations on your first day working here. It is also your last day working here. And I'm believing the guy, freaking out, holy shit, my dad got me this fucking job. I showed up 3 minutes late and lost it on the first fucking day. But no, he's not the boss. He's just this giant Polish guy named Jack who's fucking with me. Who I ended up working with through the entire time that I worked there. Dude, the guy was hilarious. He always had a joke. He always wanted to tell me a joke.
Yeah.
And he would, he had these ridiculous jokes in Poland, do you know what is favorite flavor ice cream? And he'd be like, no, what? He'd be like, cheeseburger. he told me the stupidest jokes.
We had one of those guys at this building I used to live in. It was this doorman, and I think he had been he was Bosnian or something like that. But he'd been in some kind of war and made it to New York. But he had this thing that he would do.
Some kind of war. I'm sorry, I'm distracted.
War.
Bill thought it was an Act Out the Stories show. So you tell a story about cooking and then cleaning, and then you just live it. So sorry, this guy who fought in the war.
Quick, bro, it's quick.
No hurry, dude. No hurry. We're good.
He would be, he's the doorman, and every day, I would see this guy when I come in and go out. He'd look at me and go, "Bang, you are dead." Right? Every day, he'd be like, "Bang, you are dead." My wife is like, "What the fuck is with that guy?" I'm like, "I don't know." He thought it was hilarious. "Bang, you are dead." And then I started playing with him. I'm like,
really
"Bang, you are
funny
dead."
to me.
I got a bulletproof shield around me. Kill me because it's Tuesday or whatever. It's just it got to be this. It blew out of proportion, but that guy, the "Bang, you are dead" guy, just reminded me. Had nothing to do with
Bang,
jobs.
you are dead. You are dead. Oh, that's
Bang,
okay.
you are dead.
That's
and say it
hilarious.
stone-faced,
Bang, you are dead. Dude, there's this guy in Australia. This place where I go in Australia. There's a guy who has a little cafe deli.
Yeah.
And it's right next to where we stay, and he calls everybody Buddy Boy. So if you go in there, he's going to be like, "All right, thanks, Buddy Boy." So now we wait for it.
Yeah.
And we're like, dude, it started to annoy us that the guy just always calls everybody Buddy Boy. I'm like, I should just have a word with him. I'm not here that much. I should just go in and be like, look, people don't want to be called Buddy Boy, okay, Buddy Boy? It's just it just made me think of that.
Somebody's balls.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you not do that there, buddy boy?
Yeah, totally. But he just calls there. It's like we're not a bunch of kids.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I hear that.
Buddy Boy.
But that was the passive aggressive one right before sport.
Right before.
Yeah,
Right
yeah.
before. Hey,
Yeah.
what do you say? there,
Okay, sport.
It was,
Yeah, or big
right there,
guy.
buddy boy.
Friend. Listen here, friend.
Yeah.
Mi amigo.
Yeah, friend is
Yeah.
bad.
Or buddy. That was a big thing. That was a big thing. If you were a white guy and a black guy would call you buddy.
Oh,
and he'd
really?
do it in the he'd do it like in the kind of the white guy
Hey, buddy.
voice. Yeah, hey buddy.
Ah.
I think
Hey,
it was like
how
a-
are you, buddy?
Yeah. It's like, or what was the white guy equivalent for calling a black guy something? Like it would be like some outdated, like, hey, my man, Slim or Slick
Yeah,
or
yeah,
some
my
shit
main
like that.
man.
My main man. It's my main man.
Oh, hey there, buddy.
Tyrell is here.
Hey, it's my main man, Tyrell. Oh, hey, white guy. How's it going?
buddy.
I had a friend when I was in college who was very mixed racially, and my one friend Andre would always say, whenever it was he and a bunch of the white guys, he'd be like, I feel like I'm in a Michelob commercial.
That's funny though.
And he'd come in and be like, you're all special kind of guys. It's pretty fucking funny, man.
Shoot.
That's the first beer I got.
What's that?
That's the first beer I got drunk on.
Michelob? Me too.
Michelob Light.
I feel like that might have been me too. The first time I had beer.
I
was
think
a
I told
Michelob.
you that story. We found a 12-pack and
Yeah.
we broke half of them before we were like, hey, we could be drinking these.
Michelob.
You can still get Michelob Light in New Orleans. That's the only place I've ever seen it.
Huh.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they came up with that Michelob Ultra. It was never the same.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if I'd go back to Michelob. It's like
Fitness beer.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Here's to good friends.
Yeah.
Tonight is kind of special.
Shoot.
I worked in the library. I was a page in the library, putting books back on the shelf when I was like 15. That was a terrible job. I was terrible at that job. I basically just like walk around and try to find some pretty girls that were in the library and then just put all the books at the end of a shelf. Fucking park the cart and go home. That was terrible. I had jobs like right from when I was, as soon as I could get a job. You guys
me too.
too, with the paper route. As soon as I
man.
could work, I was working.
No, that janitor job. I mean, I was in high school. I was too young to work. I was
To really
I
work,
was like
yeah.
15 or some, before you have to be 16, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was doing that. I had a job selling.
But some things you could do. You could do the paper route and stuff when you were younger, yeah.
I was selling men's suits, like high-end suits in DC, and all the drug dealers used to come to buy their suits at this place. It was
Right.
like it was nice. Eddie Murphy used to come there too, and like Luther Vandross and Schwarzenegger came. It was like a really high-end place.
Wow.
But what I didn't know,
Your jobs are so much better than mine.
well,
My jobs were awful.
oh, dude, I had to believe this. I run the gamut. This was one of the better bad ones.
These are cool
Yeah, all
jobs,
these
man.
stories have like celebrities. And they
You're
go
like,
to
here's my
Carnival
terrible
Watch.
job when I ran this awesome nightclub and Mike Tyson punched out my balls.
Dude,
I'm like,
there's no-
I was shoveling shit on a fucking roof crew. What the fuck?
I did those too, bro. But
It's okay, dude. I'd rather have yours.
They used to
I
launder
know, he's
money
like a
through
white
the place.
Charlie Murphy.
They launder money through this place, and I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know
Right.
that that's what was happening. I mean, I knew these guys would come in with these big bags of cash, but, they would buy shit. They would just buy a lot of shit. So I was like, and I remember we had a whole bunch of black ties, like just solid black ties, because dudes would get killed every week, so there'd be funerals every week. I mean, it's horrible.
Wow.
But every week, guys would come in and be like, I need a black tie. They got a funeral. It'd be our customers. So at one point,
Holy shit.
there was in D.C., the main guy was this guy, Rayful Edmonds. He was this big-time drug dealer. It was his whole family. It was him and I think his mom and like the whole family.
Everybody was in. It was a family
Everybody
business.
was in it. It was a family business. And I think what would happen is he had been laundering money through the store. But I didn't know anything. I was just a salesperson, whatever. So I'm living.
Right.
I'm going to college. I'm in University of Maryland. I get this call. And the fucking like FBI comes to my house and they're like, "Hey,
Holy shit.
do you recognize this guy?" I'm like, "Yeah. I mean, it's a customer and everything." They're like, "Did he come in with bags of cash?" I'm like, "Everybody came with bags of cash and everything." So that's what everybody
It's a
did.
cash business, baby.
So I had to go to court and testify that. And then when I was in the court, before I went to court, all of a sudden I started getting these messages on my answering machine like, "Don't go to court. don't testify, don't go to court. You're not gonna like what's gonna happen. I'm like, what the fuck is this, right? So I'm not gonna rat anybody out anyway. But I'm like, so I go to the court. We do the and they're interrogating. They're I guess the prosecutors asked me these questions, but the FBI guys must have told him that I don't know, I knew more than I did, or I said that, I pointed the finger more. And I was like, no, that's not what happened. And they kept trying to bait me to say more shit. But what was interesting about it is that guy, he ended up getting locked up, and the owner of the store. But that guy, that movie New Jack City,
right?
Wesley Snipes' character, Nino Jones, is based on that guy.
No shit.
Yeah, if you ever see an interview with Wesley Snipes talking about it, he's like, that character is based on this guy, Rayful Edmonds.
No shit.
Yeah, so it was kind of it wasn't that bad a job, but it got crazy at the end. I was
that's
I'm
pretty
whacked in fucking College Park, Maryland.
Trying to sell suits and get through college. I'm going to get taken down. And get caught up in a drug war.
Have like an astronaut in it. And that guy's name was Buzz Aldrin.
I took a job working on a space shuttle because I needed a few extra bucks.
All right, I got a horrible one. This is
okay. I'm excited now.
That neither of you are going to want this job. Neither of you would have wanted. There's no names in it.
I would take this job just to have all those other stories.
Dude, so I'm living in Times Square above the port, across from the Port Authority. You know where that Kaufman
With an
surplus
unknown
is?
Richard Gere.
Dude, I'm living with this guy, this stylist, dude, right?
Right.
And I don't have a job. I can't find a job. So he finds me something. This dude's gay, right? And the super across the hall thinks that we're together. But, we're not. But the super's very religious. He always opens the door. He's like, the lifestyle is fucked up that you guys live. I'm like, dude, that's not my lifestyle. I'm just this dude's roommate, right? So, and things keep happening where the super thinks that, like one night, all the apartments look the same.
One night he's blowing me, right?
And the super's like, you are gay. No,
it's just my roommate.
Dude, one night,
it's just my roommate.
The door, he would leave the door unlocked, and this guy fucking walks in. This drunk guy thinks it's his apartment, and starts taking his shit off. Right, and I got to throw this guy out of the apartment. I throw the guy out of the apartment. I hand him his pants. Dude, the super opens the door.
The super's right there, of course.
So. Anyway,
not your lifestyle, huh?
One of the guy, I needed a job, so he would rip out shit from the Village Voice that he thought I'd be like good for, and so he rips out this thing, sperm donor, right? It's like $500 a week, right? Neither of you guys gonna want this job. $500 a week. So I'm like, fucking, I'm 20, I don't know, 23. I got no girlfriend. I'm like, I just blew $1,000 last night, jerking off every 5 minutes. So I go to check it out, and you do an interview. And I wore a suit. I went to this clinic. I wore a suit. It's horrible, man. It's horrible. And the lady sits down. I don't know why I wore a suit, like my executive fucking jerkaholic thing. So I sit across from this lady. She's asking me these questions. You got to do this blood test. Make sure you don't have any shit.
Right.
So she calls me, and she's like, okay, you're good. You can come get do the donation, right? And I'll never forget this, man. I went to the clinic, and there's like 3 dudes sitting around, and we all know what we're there for. It's not like, someone's
so you don't shake hands.
Yeah, this one guy had a glove on, like one of those Jay Okerson, like fingerless gloves. You know what I mean? Like he's like stretching out his hand. This guy's like the Mario Andretti of jerking off, And I'm just really, and you're supposed to do it at the clinic. So they're like, okay, they give you a vial, and they're like going to that bathroom there. But I mean, I've never done that in a kind of public setting. That's a very private thing, So there's people trying to get in the bathroom. There's announcements. I come out. I'm like, can I at least get some material? They're like, the lady looks at you. She's like, whoever was here stole everything. We got this J. Crew catalog. She gives me this J. Crew catalog. So I'm going here trying to jerk off to this chick in a turtleneck sweater, and I can't do it. I just can't. I can't.
It's not working.
So I ask her, can I go home and, just do it there and bring it back. So she's like, you've got to, if you do that, you have to carry the sample in a test tube next to your body, like tuck it in your underwear so it
keep
stays
it warm.
body temperature, and hurry back. So I'm like, all right. So I go home. I'm in the bathroom. I got everything set up. My roommate comes back, and he's got some dude, and they're banging each other, and the walls are very thin. So I'm jerking off, and I'm having a crisis. Like, you know, am I gay by default listening to this shit? You know, because you hear, slap my ass, call me Shirley, whatever. And so I finally do it. I get the tube. I leave the building, and as I'm leaving the building, the super's there, coming in with like a bag of groceries, and I got this thing. I haven't tucked it into my pants yet, and it was the worst lie I ever told, because he's like, "What?" He goes, "What is that?" And I'm like, "It's not sperm." And I left it. I ran back over there. But my first $500 in New York. That's how I made it.
It's not sperm. You think he believed you?
No, I have no idea. I really have no idea. Bill thinks I'm blowing guys in the bathroom after that story. Oh, shoot, man.
Oh, man.
What do you think?
We've definitely had some jobs in our day, gentlemen.
I can't believe you went back to construction. I had one construction was like, the hell with this.
I did a couple. I did a few of them. Because I like doing that stuff. I like to build stuff. I like wood. I'm gonna have Gaffigan on and do a whole show about wood. Some rich mahogany.
Yeah.
I don't think I don't know which one was the worst, but I had a job installing car stereos, which I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Not on this show, on one of the other episodes it came up. That was kind of cool. Even like I don't know.
That's a great job for a 6'5" guy.
Climbing into those tiny little cars.
The steering wheel.
You know what I think was the worst job I ever had? Cash cab.
Really?
No, I'm just kidding. Comedian. I liked a lot of my jobs. Some of them were I just could never take a job that was like insanely boring.
Yeah.
I'd so much rather just be kind of busy.
Destroyed on the Canucks.
Bill's watching hockey. He's like, I'll do the show, but I'm not interrupting my regular plan.
Right.
I'm going to have dinner, and I'm going to watch the fucking game.
I just thought I had to tell a story, and my contractual obligation was this. I've been like driving down the street. I finished playing drums. I made a whole meal.
Yeah. Built an extension.
You're living your life, man.
Yeah.
That's what you call your podcast. Live your life podcast.
Live your life.
Work around.
We interrupt people.
Whatever you have to do, you do it while you talk to us, and we'll try to guess what you're doing.
For my show at some point.
Yeah, we must have been on here a while now.
Like
if you're getting ready to do that.
Me and Jerk.
According to my iPhone time, forget about the stuff we did before. This is an hour and 5 minutes.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, I hope you had a good time, dude.
Yeah,
it's good to hear your voice. Good to hang a bit,
man.
Even if it's
I had
remote.
a great time, and I wish I lived DC's life from age 18. Other than the gay roommate, having to rub one out while that was going down.
It balances out, bro. It balances out, man.
I'm surprised you still had the void that you needed to get into show business.
I'm surprised I'm not more successful at show business after that story.
Worst job you ever had. DC is like, oh, well, yeah, I once had to drive all these beautiful naked chicks around and keep them oiled up.
Oh, shit, man. Bill Burr, man, it is always good to... it's been a while, man, and you're always hilarious, and thanks so much for coming on, man.
Yeah, dude, it was great.
Love you, man. You're
Absolutely.
fucking hilarious.
Thanks, brother.
Dude.
What do you want to plug? You got anything you want to plug? What's coming up?
When does this come out?
Middle of January, probably.
Oh, I have a stand-up special coming out on Netflix called Walk Your Way Out.
Nice.
Walk Your Way Out. When does that come out? Do you have a date yet?
No, it looks like it's going to be the end of January.
All right,
probably January 31st is the day they're looking at it right now, but that might change.
So look for Walk Your Way Out, a new special from Bill Burr on Netflix sometime in January. And your podcast is still going strong?
Yep.
I was just on
podcast.
The Monday Morning Podcast. F is for Family is in season 2. Is that right?
Yep, we're editing that as we speak.
Oh, that's awesome.
Well,
dude.
I'm actually watching hockey. Is what I'm doing as we speak. But there's other people working on it.
Right.
As we speak, they are doing that. Well, you got a lot of great things coming up, dude. I'm happy for you and all your success. It's great to hang out with you a little bit.
Okay.
Hopefully we'll do it again sometime. Good luck, dude. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. DC, great hearing from you, man. Great talking
Back at
to
you, brother. Take care.
Soon.
All right, later,
buddy.
buddy.
Later.
All right, that wraps up yet another episode of Tall But True that I think was a great one. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was fun, man. There were some great laughs. We've all had such crazy experiences trying to do what we're doing. Yeah.
I missed that guy, man. So, he was... It was good catching up with him.
Yeah,
you know?
totally. Yeah, it was cool. It felt like we were all hanging out again,
Yeah.
you know, like the old days. It's been a while, but that's it for this episode of Tall But True. That's number 9. More good episodes with great stories, tall but true tales coming your way. So keep coming back. Thanks for listening, guys.
Thanks, guys. Bye.